Hey everyone, John here! And as we know, the Switch 2 has 256 gigabytes of internal storage, which is much faster than the standard Switch storage. In fact, they showed a comparison between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, where it loads an awful lot faster. But how quickly are you going to fill up that 256 giggies? Well, in terms of third-party titles, we have no idea, and they'll probably be a bit beefier than these ones because Nintendo tend to keep their file sizes fairly small. But even Nintendo file sizes are growing. So let's start from the bottom and work our way up. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, the Switch 2 edition. That is going to be a whole 100 megabytes smaller. Wait, what do you mean, Howl Labs? How did you make it smaller? And that's with the new stuff. That doesn't make sense, Hal. I want to shake you and figure out your secrets. But Nintendo Cube aren't quite on the same wavelength, as Mario Party Jamboree has in fact grown. It's gone from 5.3 giggies on the Switch 1 to 7.7 giggies on the Switch 2. Which makes sense, there's a lot more content, and also the resolution and textures are expanding on Switch 2. So, Kirby, I don't know what's going on with you. And we've also got a file size for not GameCube Nintendo Switch Online, but GameCube Nintendo Classics. And what's interesting about this is I kinda assumed that you'd be downloading them individually, because GameCube games are a whole lot bigger. But no, the file size is 3.5 gigabytes, which pretty much matches the selection that they've got here in the image, which is Soul Calibur 2, Wind Waker, and F-Zero GX. Interestingly, during Treehouse, they also had Super Mario Strikers, or Mario Smash Football, as we call it here in Europe, in the lineup. But that seemingly won't be there at launch, according to this screenshot. So that's funny. But yeah, 3.5 gigabytes, so we may be downloading every single game that comes to the service. Hopefully there is a toggle, just to make the file size a bit more manageable, because this will get very beefy if there's no toggle in the future. But yeah, for now, 3.5 gigabytes. Now, let's get into the brand new Switch 2 software. Donkey Kong Bonanza. Let's compare this to Mario Odyssey, the closest comparison. So, Super Mario Odyssey was 5.7 gigabytes on the Switch 1. Donkey Kong Bonanza is about double that, 10 gigabytes. Not point anything, just 10 giggies. And Mario Kart World is also around double the size of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That's gone from 11.3 gigabytes to 23.4 gigabytes, making it the largest Nintendo first-party game, to my knowledge. Other big Nintendo games have been Smash Bros. Ultimate at 17.3 gigabytes, Tears of the Kingdom at 16.7 gigabytes. I don't think we have a file size for Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 edition yet, but I don't imagine it'd be that much larger. And then Xenoblade Chronicles 3 at 14.4 gigabytes. So Mario Kart World is around the largest Switch game by about 6 gigabytes. So pretty beefy, but compared to most of the industry, still pretty much on the small size. We know Cyberpunk is using a 64 gigabyte Switch card. We don't know exactly how big the game is gonna be, but I'd imagine roughly 3 times the size as the biggest first-party game here. We also know that most Switch 2 software from third parties are coming on the data packs, the data cards even. So they're not real cards, you just sort of put them in and download the game. It's a real shame, especially with something as small and pretty unimpressive as Bravely Default. That's just the 3DS game. It's going to be probably around 8 gigabytes, 4 gigabytes. So there's really no reason that should be on a download card. When Cyberpunk is making the effort for 64 gigs, it's just a real shame that most of it's going in this direction. But anyway, these are the first-party game file sizes. What do you think? Is this around what you expected? And when Monolith Soft come along with their big RPG for the Switch 2, do you think their file sizes will radically grow, or are they going to keep them, pretty much intact? We're looking at double the sizes for most of these, like Mario Kart World is double Mario Kart 8, Donkey Kong is double Mario Odyssey. So if Xenoblade 3 is around 14.4 gigs, we could be looking at like around a 30 gigabyte Monolith Soft game, which, is still pretty conservative in what most game file sizes are today. And before we go, the Japanese eShop's also given us a price for the Nintendo Switch Welcome Tour. This comes in at 990 yen, which is actually really cheap. This is around £5 or $6.70. So it is so cheap to the point where you wonder why isn't this just included. But it's almost impulse buy territory. If this is priced around £10, I'll start to maybe squint my eyes a little bit. Probably wouldn't get it at that amount, but £5 it's low enough to consider. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you next time. Bye, everyone.